ladies, and welcome to Still Looking Good, the channel that reviews wigs for the mature woman. Today, as I have been promising you for a while, I am going to do a makeup tutorial or makeup video to show you the products that I'm using and also to show you how I put on my makeup. I'll let you know in advance that I put my lashes on last because I'm not great with lashes, and so I'm not going to show you how I put the lashes on. I just kind of set them on top of my eyes, to be quite honest. But I am going to show you the tutorial of what makeup I use and how I put it on, so let's get started. Okay, ladies, I am narrating this, and the first thing I'm going to do is put primer on. And this primer that I'm putting on is a L'Oreal Infallible Matte Lock Primer. And I'm putting the primer on just as I would any kind of a moisturizer. This primer is not really white like some primers you might see people put on. This one kind of goes on clear, which kind of is difficult for me to really tell where it's going. So I'm thinking I'm going to try one that's a little bit more white the next time. So now I'm going to put on my Maybelline Fit Me foundation in number 240. And what I do with foundation is I usually just put it on once. I don't put on a second coat. And when I do put the foundation on, I like to make sure that it goes under my chin and all the way up to my hairline. And the reason I do that is because I do not like it when I see women that have foundation on their face and you can see a line from their hairline to the edge of their face. Like you can actually, it almost looks like a mask. And so I try to make sure that when I put on my foundation, that I put it under the chin, under the jaw, and go up to my hairline so that it doesn't look like there's some kind of a line of demarcation like a mask. So I'm going to put this all over my face with my fingers as opposed to using a sponge because to me it's just a lot less waste than it would be if I was using a sponge to put it on. So I'm going to get it all over my face, just one coat. And I'm going to speed this up just a little bit so we can move on. Okay, so now I'm going to put on my Pro Concealer. This concealer is LA Girl Pro Conceal Yellow Corrector. And most of you women who are my age know that concealer usually went on before foundation, but these days the young ladies are putting the concealer on top of the foundation, and they're also putting it on their eyelids. So putting it on top of the foundation doesn't really seem to make much of a difference to me one way or the other. But I do notice that putting it on the eyelid kind of helps the shadow stay on better. Either use the concealer or another product that I'm going to be showing you pretty soon that you can put on as well by NYX, and it's kind of a neat, interesting product. So I'm using my finger for this, but mostly I use this brush. This is an Tracy makeup brush that I got from TJ Maxx. It's a small version. I got a big one too for my foundation if I usually want to use it. But I'm using this one just to smooth out the concealer under my eyebrow, not the lid so much because I want to keep most of it on the lid. And I'm just smoothing it out under my eye, under my brow, and on my face where I put it in my creases because the brush just does a really good job of smoothing it out. And then once I'm ready to put my powder on, you won't see so much of the yellow during that once I put the powder on. So I'm going to finish this up. And the next thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this NYX Milk Jumbo Eye Pencil. This Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk is kind of like a crayon, and it's hard to get the top off, as you can see. But what I usually do is I'll put it on my eyelid and just cover it. It's almost like the concealer, but it does an even better job of keeping your eyeshadow on your lid. And for me, unfortunately, shadow just kind of melts into my face. And so putting this on and patting it a little bit with my finger really helps me to keep my eyeshadow not only from melting into my skin, but also it just makes the color more vibrant. And you'll notice that there are some other ladies that are on YouTube that will use this for their eyeshadow. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brush, a flat brush, and I'm going to put this Fit Me powder in 240 again with this flat brush, and I'm going to put a little bit on top of the concealer. And the reason I'm doing this is because, again, I don't want it to, the concealer or that milk to melt into my face. So the powder is just another way to set that to help the eyeshadow stay on my lids better. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my eyeshadow palette. Today I've decided that I'm going to use the Juvia's palette, and this Juvia's palette, the name of this Juvia's palette that I'm going to be using is Zulu, and I'm using this palette because it's got a lot of vibrant colors in it, and I was hoping that since I'm going to do this tutorial that I would use some colors, that I should use some colors to, geez, I can't even talk today, that I'm going to use some colors that are brighter so that you can see them. So I'm going to take the bluish green color and I'm going to put that on my eye. I'm going to put that bluish green color a little bit above my crease of my eye. And I'm going to use this Wet n Wild blending brush to do it. This Wet n Wild blending brush was only like 93 cents at the drugstore. So it's a really good brush to put on what they call a transition color, and that's what I'm using this for, is a transition color. And what that means is that I'm transitioning with this color to a deeper color later. So there'll be a darker color that I put on top of this. So I put a darker color blue on top of this. And I'm apologizing for this narration because, trust me, I've never narrated before. This is my first time narrating, so I'm having a difficult time thinking and talking and watching this video at the same time. So I'll let you know that one of the things that's important to do when you're putting this transition color or any color on your shadow, on your eyes, is to blend the shadow out. That's basically what this brush is for, as well as another brush I'll be using later. Blending your colors is very important because if you put a color on and then you put another color on, another color on, and you don't blend them, they look really, really crazy. So I found that the blending is really one of the most important things that you can do when you're putting shadow on your eyes. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to continue to put this other color on, the first color, so that it actually shows up on my eyes. And then I'm going to put this next color on. Yeah. So this is the darker color that I'm using on top of the transition color. And this darker color, it's showing up a lot better, of course, but I'm going to be doing, again, a lot of blending so that it doesn't look as bright as it looks right now. This is my blending brush, and I'm basically just blending in those two colors. I'm blending in the transition color, which was the first lighter color, and then I'm blending it in with this darker color. And again, as I said, blending is very, very important when it comes to putting the shadows on and making them look right. You may see a lot of women with these beautiful, they almost look like, what do you call it? I can't think of the term, but it goes from one color to another color to another color. I can't even remember what the term is, but it's really nice. They look really nice because they are blending it really well, and so that's what I'm trying to do. Now what I'm going to do is take this brush, which is sort of a brush that just kind of puts the powder on your lids. It kind of drops it on there. I don't even know what the name of the brush is, but I'm going to use this lighter green to just drop the shadow onto my eye. This brush is really good at just placing shadow on your eyelids. So it takes a lot more, it picks up a lot more shadow, this brush does. And that's good for your lids because you want to be able to get a vibrant color on your lids if that's what you're going for. So I'm just going to put it all over my lid. Now I'm going to take the blending brush again, And I'm going to try to blend the line between that light green and the darker green colors now. And again, blending is just really important. It takes a little bit more time, unfortunately, but the result is usually much better. Now I'm actually searching for another brush so that I can put another color on. This blunt brush I'm going to use to put a little brown on the edges of my eyelids, and the reason I want to do this is because this green is a little bit kind of bright for me and I want something a little bit more smoky. So I'm going to put this brown on the edge of my eyelid, in the crease a little bit, but mostly on the outer end of my lid, because that's where I want it to be, to have that smoky look. So I'm going to put some of that brown on there. And I'm just tapping it on the sink so that there's not a lot of flecking, you know. You don't want color all over the place. You want it to stay where you put it. And so I kind of tap it when I'm doing this. Now I'm going to blend again, because that's the name of the game. Now I'm going to kind of go back and forth with some of these colors. I'm taking that other brush again, and I'm going to put some of that brown underneath my eye as well, just to kind of bring that smokiness around to the bottom part of my eye. Not all the way across the bottom, but just a little bit on the sides, kind of in the corner and a little bit at the bottom. It just kind of helps fill in that smoky look that I'm going for. Now I'm going to use this peachy looking color that's out of this Zulu palette. And again, you keep seeing my hand go down. I'm brushing the brush on a towel, a bath towel, so that I can get some of the color off so it doesn't mix too much. So I'm taking this peachier color and I'm putting it on the inner corner of my eye because I want that area to pop a little bit more. So I'm going to put that color in the inner part, just with this brush that just deposits color. And again, I'm tapping it on the side of the sink to make sure that I don't have too much on my brush. Yeah, a little bit more brown. A little bit more brown to continue that smokiness. And really, ladies, this is kind of a work in progress. You have to kind of experiment with all of this and see what works for you. Try different things. Put the color in different places. That's what I'm doing. I've been trying different things to see, you know, whether I want it above, you know, my eye crease, whether I don't want it above my eye crease. And again, doing a lot of blending, deciding whether I want a line or not a line in terms of putting black liner on. I've been experimenting with a lot of different things just to see what I like and what I think looks good for my eyes, because I have hooded eyes, and I know some of you also have hooded eyes, and it's kind of difficult sometimes when you have hooded eyes to get that makeup application right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this Milani eyebrow cream and this pencil, and I'm going to fill in my brows. my eyebrows do not go all the way to my nose. You may have noticed in looking at the video that it's a little bit lighter closer to my nose, and that's because I had a tattoo years ago put on my eyebrows to make them come in closer to my nose, and I haven't gone back to her to have her fill it in. So I've been filling it in just with brow powder, so that it doesn't look totally crazy. And sometimes I don't. I'm not as good at putting it on some days than I am other days. So this is today. I think is one of the days that, I mean, it's going to go on okay, but I really don't like doing this. I wished I had gone back and gotten the brow filled in with the tattoo, because I'm kind of inconsistent with it. I don't have the most steady hands either, so trying to make it work. I mean, it's okay, but it could be better. Maybe I need to take a course in putting eyebrows on. Lord knows there's a lot of videos on YouTube about putting on eyebrows or even creating your own. So maybe I'll take a look at that and decide whether I need a tutorial on eyebrows. Okay, so next, I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put this eyeliner on. This is the NYX eyeliner. It's a black eyeliner that's it's got a lot bit more control than some other eyeliners that I've used. It's the Epic Eye Ink Liner in black. I'm not, like I said, I don't have a really steady hand, and so even though I like this liner better, it's more easy to control, I'm still not the greatest at putting these on. I'm just not great at doing the eyeliner. So I'm trying to get that line thin in the front, but a little thicker on the outer edge of my eye. Yeah, it's just, I'm not successful at this. I've not always worn eyeliner either, so I've not had a lot of practice. But I've been trying to wear it because it really looks nice once you put like lashes on with the eyeliner. I don't go for the whole winged liner thing, but I do try to put at least some kind of a nice line on my eye, so that when I put the eyelashes on, they look nice. This narration thing is driving me crazy. Okay, so here's a flat brush that I'm using to put a little bit of lighter shadow under my eyebrow. And the reason I'm going to do that, and this is a palette that I got from TJ Maxx. I forgot the name of it. I don't know, Basic Concepts or something it's called. But anyway, the color in the middle I'm going to use, and you can use any light color. The color that I'm using is a lighter kind of beige color that I'm going to put underneath my eyebrow, so that it kind of brings the eye out and gives a little bit more, I guess, a demarcation between the eyebrow and my actual eyeshadow. So I'm just going to put this little bit of light color underneath there. Yeah, some women actually put concealer under their eyebrows and above their eyebrows to make them stand out, but I think this shadow does fine. Now I'm going to use the same brush that I used for putting the shadow on my eye, and I'm going to use this brown color to contour my nose. I got this palette from Fry's, believe it or not, the electronics store. My husband goes there all the time, and so he takes me with him when he goes to Fry's, and I discovered that they actually had makeup. So I bought this contour palette from them. I think it was like $5. I just put the contour on both sides of my nose all the way up to my eyebrow, and I rub it in, and then after I've gotten it rubbed in, you can actually see the contour. I put a little bit of the lighter color with my finger in the middle of my nose, on the bridge of my nose. And that sort of gives the difference between the darker color on the sides and the lighter, and it just kind of helps helps out with the contouring of the nose, that's all. So you can use any kind of highlighter to do that, but I like this one since it came in this packet. I just use it for that. Now I'm going to take my Fit Me pressed powder with my big brush, and I'm just going to do all over my face. I'm going to do my forehead, and I'm going to do my sides of my face, my cheeks, sides of my nose, but I'm not going to put it under my eyes because under my eyes I have a tendency to have wrinkles. And if you put powder under your eyes, especially if you put concealer there, it's just a haven for wrinkles. So you don't want to do that. So I'm just going to make sure I get my powder all around my face. And that's pretty much it. So now we're getting on the home stretch here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my go-to mascara, which is the old school Maybelline Great Lash Mascara in black brown, which you know all of us back in the day used to use. Even in high school, I think they had the Maybelline mascara back then. So this is what I'm still using. And it's dependable, and it's not expensive, and it does the job. I don't need any really fancy mascara. This mascara is just fine. And my lashes are decent length, so it all works out. I'm still going to put some lashes on top of these on my eyes, as you'll see, but I'm not going to put them on here because I'm not great with lashes, and if they don't work, I definitely don't want to do it on camera. Okay, so next we're going to go to the e.l.f. blush palette. And with this e.l.f. blush palette, I'm going to use that brownish looking peachy color. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my cheeks going upwards. I go up because I have big cheekbones and I don't really need to highlight them a whole lot. And you notice I didn't contour my cheeks either because of the fact that I've got such big cheekbones. So I'm going upwards with it because since my eyes have a tendency to be droopy, I want any color that I have to kind of go up and not down. And then I'm just going to go over it with my powder brush. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my lip color. I'm going to use this Colourpop Ultra, I guess it's called a Ultra Shiny Lip color in the color, obviously, Ultra Glossy, okay. But I'm going to put my Vaseline on first because that's my go-to. I put my Vaseline on and, you know, smooch it all in, and then I'm going to rub it off a little bit so I can put my lip liner on. Yep, this is my lip liner. It's the NYX, and I think it's called Suede. Suede matte lip color in Maison, I think is what it's called. Maison. I think that means house in French. And so I'm putting this lip liner on, and I like to put a little bit extra in my corners to just keep my lipstick on better. It just kind of keeps my lipstick on better. I've always done it, so that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to take the Colourpop lipstick and just a little bit of it. I'm not big on a really shiny lipstick, and I'm just going to put it on and, you know, kind of smooch it on there. And that's pretty much it. I'm pretty much done, and this is the look, so I'll talk to you about it on the other side.
Okay, ladies, that was it. That was the tutorial. I have to say that I'm not the best when it comes to putting on makeup, but I am learning a lot of things and I'm really enjoying it. So I would encourage you to just try some different things, have fun with it, go out and get some different products. I'll put the products that I used on my face below in the description. And I'll also tell you some places where you can go, some unexpected places you can go to get some really good makeup that doesn't cost a lot of money. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Push the notification bell and like this video if you liked it. And like I always say, if you're going to show love to anyone today, please show it to the creator. I'm still looking good, and of course, so are you. See you next time.